I'm about 6 and 1/2 months pregnant with my first baby. After finding out it's a boy, we set to work on decorating the nursery, buying all the furniture, toys, etc. we needed. It's now finished, and all we need is baby clothes. We're waiting until we're closer to the due date to do that. This week me and 3 friends met up after 3 months apart. I've grown a lot, so my pregnancy was the big topic. My bestie Gaby started talking about my baby shower, which she had been planning for weeks. This was a surprise because she'd never mentioned this and I'd never brought it up purely because I don't want one, which I told my friends who asked why. I told them. We already bought all we need or want for the baby and don't want to double up. I'm worried people, as nice as it is, will buy us things we don't need or want. And I don't want to seem an ungrateful idiot who might give it back or return it. I'm a very shy person and am uncomfortable in social events and having attention on me. But mainly, cases of COVID are dropping, it's not gone. I don't want to expose or risk myself, my baby, or my family and friends to it. My friend said they were upset about it, but it was my choice. Baby didn't agree. She told me it wasn't my choice because baby showers are meant to be thrown for, not by, me, and even if I didn't want one I couldn't stop her. She would just make it a surprise, so I couldn't bail. She was proud of this idea. I told Gaby that was not okay, I don't want one, and it was a waste of money for all involved. They'd buy baby gifts, most of which I can guarantee I have. Gaby rolled her eyes and said I was a killjoy, but the topic was changed. I thought the problem was solved equals no baby shower. Last night I got a call from my mum who shouldn't have my number, I haven't spoken to since my wedding, and didn't know I was pregnant. She told me she had got a baby shower invite from Gaby. She was devastated I hadn't told her I was pregnant, but was so happy to be invited and couldn't wait to come to see me and baby. I was furious. Gaby knows about the issues with my mum. I hung up and called Gaby right. I told her if she didn't cancel the shower immediately she wouldn't see me or my baby again. The invite had my address, and that was not information I wanted my mum having. Baby said my empty threats wouldn't work and that I would thank her for the shower, even if I didn't think so now. So I hung up on Gaby, blocked her on all social media, and sent her a text telling her the friendship was over before blocking her number. Now I'm getting texts from Gaby's boyfriend and friends saying I'm overreacting, it's just my hormones going crazy. That I'll regret cutting my best friend out my life. But it took months to cut contact with my mum, and in minutes it was undone. My husband's with me but my friends are saying I'm being the idiot. I didn't think I am, but now I'm thinking maybe pregnancy brain went into overdrive. Not the idiot. Gaby sounds like she went a bit quarantine crazy, she gave your mom your address without your permission. Crazy. I'm so sorry that you will have to deal with the ramifications of this. The baby shower is for you, but that obviously means if you don't want it you don't have it. I feel like most moms to be still have some hand in planning the event usually anyway. This was never about you and your baby. This was about her selfish desire to have party, creating the outward appearance of being nice, and maximizing control over your life. Not the idiot. A friend listens and offers respect, which hasn't happened here. I'm so sorry your boundaries have been violated on multiple levels. Hopefully, you can easily re-establish them with your mom. I mean, a good friend should have known better, and that you move forward knowing who your good friends are. Cherish them, and cherish that little boy. Congratulations on becoming a mom. You're doing great preparing a safe space for him. Not the idiot. Pregnancy aside, if any of my friends planned and invited people to a party in my own house without telling me who they invited or any major details of the party, let alone without my consent to have the party, I would be absolutely furious. Your friend is definitely not being a friend to you if you've stated time and time again that you don't want a baby shower and why you don't want a baby shower, and then she still sent out invites anyways. So, definitely, not the idiot if you end the friendship, especially if she's refusing to cancel after your ultimatum. I am a father to 3 young adult, ages 18, 22, and 24, sons who live with me and who for the most part have always gotten along, normal brotherly fights but nothing serious. However, throughout the summer I've noticed a bit of a tension between them. I told my youngest to spill the beans, since I figured the conflict was between the older two, since they seemed the most tense. My youngest tried to avoid eye contact and kept trying to play dumb, but I kept pushing. My eldest child had some bad history of impulsive behavior when he was a few years younger, the worst being an incident which resulted in his expulsion from college, but he had been slowly improving his life and I didn't want to be too late to help him if he had done something to jeopardize it. I really didn't want my youngest keeping secrets. When I finally got the truth out, I was in shock. It turns out that middle child gathered a baby, my granddaughter, over a year ago, but had refused to even see the child. My oldest found out since he happens to work with a cousin of the mother, and he has been trying to get his brother to take responsibility and be there for his child, but he has refused. I confronted my middle child and we got into a huge fight. He claimed that being a father would ruin his plans for life, but I told him that he had to take responsibility for his own actions and that his child deserved to have a father in her life. This went on for a while when I told him that if he didn't think his own child deserved a father, then he didn't deserve a father himself, and I told him that he had to leave the house. He is 22 years old and has a decent job and plenty of friends, so I wasn't too worried about him. I have met my granddaughter and her family and have made some plans to sell my house and downsize to begin a college fund for her since my youngest child will go to college and my oldest has been saving up to move out. It has been about a month now, and while I feel like I made the correct decision, I still feel terrible. I chose to end my relationship with my son, which hurt so much since I have always felt closest with him throughout his life. He had the same interests that I had and was the most willing to spend time with me. I feel horrible that I raised a kid who was willing to not care about a human he helped create. I feel like I ruined any chance of a relationship between him and my youngest son. And I feel guilty since my wife has been crying a lot the last few weeks and I don't know how to fix anything. Am I the idiot for this? Was my reaction too strong? Not the idiot. It's normal to feel extremely upset. It's not like you lost a friend, you lost a child. Your son chose not only to abandon his child, but not to tell anyone else about the child, including his own parents, essentially attempting to ruin the chances of a grandparent or grandchild relationship that both you and the child deserve. Your son chose to be selfish with his actions instead of doing the best for his daughter and her future. You're definitely not the idiot. You're the idiot. I am a woman and I believe women have the right to back out of pregnancy if they want to. We expect options like adoption, morning after pills, and abortion. If I expect for my fellow women to have the option to not be a mother, I think men should have the same option. Women should not be able to force men into fatherhood, just like men should be able to force women to be mothers. If he didn't want to be a dad, that was his choice and his choice alone. Just like we say every time a woman doesn't want to be a mom. Not the idiot. Not only has he refused to acknowledge and support his own child, at this point it doesn't matter whether he wanted a child or not, he's got one. He also lied and hid her from you, her grandparents, for a whole year that you will not get back. Her birth, rolling over, crawling, first birthday, first steps, all milestones that you didn't get to experience. If he's really serious about not wanting to be a father, at least to more children, he should get a vasectomy before he has a chance to be a disappointment to even more kids. I found out I was pregnant with my daughter at 19 years old, had her at 20. When I told my parents, they said they'll be happy for me, but they didn't want to pay for anything, have us live with them, or babysit all the time, basically wanting to treat me the same they would if I had kids older and not as a teenager still going to university. I was already living independently, both my boyfriend and I worked, and we live in a country with free or cheap education and healthcare. In our culture, families are close and grandparents are very involved in their grandchildren's lives, so I thought they'd still be emotionally supportive. During my pregnancy, I asked my parents and sister for help a few times. Driving me to the hospital when I started contracting 3 months early, picking me up for a family event when I wasn't allowed to drive, helping me prepare meals to put in the freezer, and staying with them for a weekend when I was due any day and my boyfriend couldn't be home. They refused, telling me that I was expecting to be catered to. They also didn't want to come with me to ultrasounds, or basically hear me talking about anything baby related, telling me that I was trying to win them over and have them forget that I was making dumb decisions. When I spoke to other relatives, my sister joked that I was trying to get gifts from them. I had severe postpartum depression and thought I was an entitled jerk and a failure, unworthy of the baby or anybody's support, but improved a lot after months of therapy. My relationship with my parents started improving after they apologized for not getting me to the hospital. They told me they were afraid I was going to destroy my life and thought that they were showing tough love. Improvement in our case meant that we were on speaking terms and they're allowed in their granddaughter's life. We're not close. Which brings us to today, 3 years later. My sister, 29 years old, is pregnant and she's getting a completely different treatment than I did when I was treated as an independent adult. Our parents stay with her when her husband isn't home, don't let her do any housework, paid for her birthing class and a maternity photo shoot, and get her whatever she craves to eat. Yesterday my mother called and asked me to bring over to her house all of my daughter's old furniture, toys, and anything else of her baby stuff I have kept because she wants to set up a nursery, so my sister's baby will have everything they need when she babysits. Apparently, my sister wanted my parents to buy some new stuff to keep at their house, but my mother told her mine will do. I answered that mine will not do, my sister should try to get freebies from other relatives instead, and ended the call. I've been getting texts from my parents and sister telling me to come to my senses and calling me petty, immature, and resentful among other things. So, am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. Honestly, I think your parents might have mended their ways after pretty much shunning you and seeing that some of your requests were 100% serious, especially the contraction one. But, you have every right to refuse giving your belongings to someone else, especially if they have severely wronged you during a similar situation. Also, a lot of people keep stuff like this as memories, which makes it even more understandable to not want to give it away. Not the idiot. Even if you didn't have that kind of history, assuming you will give everything to them is rather presumptuous. You may have a friend, other family member, or charity in mind, and their need may be greater. If it was me, I'd grab a few minimal pieces to pass on, just to be able to say you obliged, and make them fend for themselves on the rest. You and your partner had to pretty much do it by yourselves. I'm sure the group of them will be just fine to figure it out like you had to. Not the idiot, they treated you horribly and continue to do so. I wouldn't budge at all. If you want to keep the items for yourself or possible future children, do so. If you want to donate or sell the items, that's your choice. But I see no point in helping your parents support your sister in a way that they were adamantly refusing to do for you. I think you've actually been really mature in continuing to have a relationship with people like this, whether it's merely for your child or something more. My roommate asked me to drive him to his girlfriend's apartment. I agreed, but I was almost out of gas, so we stopped to get gas on the way. At the gas station, we decided to split the cost of the scratch-off with the condition that we would split the winnings if we won. My roommate is one of those people that never has any money to pay people back, but has money for eating out every night and alcohol. So I bought the scratch-off, and he told me he would pay me back. The scratch-off was $10, so we both agreed to pay $5. We usually do the scratch-off together, but he was already late, so he told me to just drop him off. When I got back home, I did the scratch-off, and it ended up being a $500 ticket. Now, this is when things take a turn. My roommate and I have split the cost of probably dozens of scratch-offs at this point, and he rarely pays me back. So when he got home I told him that the ticket was a dud and asked him to pay me back the $5. He says the usual "oh, I'll get you back later this week, just give me some time" crap. I asked him multiple times within the last month to pay me back for his half of the ticket and he never got around to it. So I ended up cashing the ticket and keeping it for myself. He found out about it through mutual friends and was absolutely pissed about it and said I stole $250 from him. I told him the agreement was to split the cost of the ticket and then split the winnings if we won. Since he never paid half of the ticket, he is not entitled to half of the winnings whatsoever. If he paid me back just the $5 he owed me for that ticket, I would have given him his $250. So, am I the idiot? Everyone's the idiot here. Of course he's an idiot for promising to pay half and never coming through. The question is, why did you agree to split the ticket with him when you know he never pays up? I would have stopped buying tickets with him when I figured out he never pays up. You clearly had the cash to pay for it yourself since you bought it and he didn't, so why didn't you just buy it and not say anything to him at all? Never agree to split a lottery ticket unless they pay cash up front, then there's no uncertainty of whether you need to pay up or not. Everyone's the idiot here. Obviously, your friend is an idiot for never paying you back. You are also an idiot for making verbal contracts with him, regardless of the fact that you know neither of you intends to follow through. You know what you do when your friend doesn't pay you back. You stop lending him money. If you wanted that scratch ticket, you shouldn't have even entertained the notion of splitting it with him. Just buy it yourself. Instead, you bought it, you reneged on the deal, and you lied about reneging on the deal. You're just as bad as he is. Everyone's the idiot here. You could solve it by taking the $5 for the scratcher out of the winnings and giving him $245. You agreed to split the winnings, then you reneged on that after lying to him that it was a dud, all for what, $5? Yes, your roommate screws for never paying you back, but you screw for continually getting yourself into these fixes. If you have it still, own up to the ticket being a winner and give him his half, minus the $5 for the scratcher. Then never do this again. For reference, my brother Connor is 19, I am 26, and my now ex-fiancé Hunter is 28. Also for reference, already mentioned in the title, but my brother was kicked out when he was 16 because our parents snooped through his phone and found out he was gay. Connor had a birthday last weekend, so he invited his friends over and they were all 18 to 22-year-olds, drinking and playing games. Hunter and I were about to head out to let them have the place to themselves when Connor asked if we wanted to join them. I initially refused, bit too old to be playing drinking games, but he insisted and Hunter thought it'd be fun to act like college students again. We all got pretty drunk and Connor had the idea of playing Never Have I Ever. A few rounds in, the statement "never have I ever cheated before" came up. Now's a good time to mention that Hunter is staunchly against cheating. His ex-fiancée cheated on him and it emotionally wrecked him. And unfortunately, as a lot of dumb, immature 17-year-olds do, I cheated on my boyfriend of 5 months. It was a stupid mistake, he found out, and, understandably, ended things. This was almost a decade ago, I obviously learned my lesson and look back at that time with shame and obviously never cheated since. Well, my brother knows about this, so when I didn't drink, he went, "Hey sis, what the hell? You know you cheated on," insert X's name. "You have to drink to that." My boyfriend paused, looked at me, looked at him, and just walked out of the room. I followed him and tried to talk to tell him that it was a stupid teenage mistake, but he wasn't having any of it and ended things on the spot. I'm numb. I'm heartbroken. He was my everything and more, and I still don't know how I'm going to move on. Connor tried to apologize, but I feel nothing but sadness and emptiness. This morning I served him an eviction notice. He begged me to stay and said he didn't mean to ruin my relationship and he just didn't think when he said those words. I just can't look at him right now. He ruined my life. After I raised him and cared for him like he was my own. I feel so hurt. Am I being unreasonable? Everyone's the idiot here. Unfortunately, sometimes things we do in life catch up with us. Even stupid crap we did as teens. Your brother was a jerk for spewing crap when he was drunk. But really the idiot here is the ex-fiancé. You were 17. Teens make stupid decisions all the time. For him to hold this against you and break things off from you is absolutely ridiculous. I think you may have dodged a bullet. I think kicking him out is pretty harsh. Everyone's the idiot here. Connor didn't mean to hurt you. You know who did. Hunter. He's the intolerant, unforgiving, uncompromising prick that you're trying to defend. He chose to dump you on the spot. His mistake that you're punishing your brother for. All your brother did was to call you on a lie you made. If Hunter wouldn't even hear you out, despite being your freaking fiancé, then you're better rid of him. Oh, and you're an idiot for blaming Connor instead of A. owning your crap, lying, and B. blaming Hunter. Everyone's the idiot here. Your brother for telling your boyfriend about this. Your boyfriend for punishing you for something that happened 9 years ago. You for not coming forward sooner about this when you knew your boyfriend was staunchly against cheating. This was something to bring up long before your brother snitched. Are you going to regret cutting your brother off down the line? Be ready to live without him and no relationship after this. Be prepared for that.